Okay, hello, and thank you for listening to this week's J&J podcast. And this week, let's talk about the inductees for the 2022 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Um, Apparently, this year, the one that stands out the most for me is Dolly Parton is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What do you think about that?
So wrong.
Well,
So wrong.
there are other country artists, like old country artists, who are already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and so wrong. So my issue isn't that they're in the Hall of Fame, because Dolly Parton should be in the Hall of Fame.
She is in the country artists Hall of Fame. She is already inducted in that.
Then stop it.
But apparently, she wanted to back out of this one. She wanted to remove her name off of the ballot at the
And
beginning
good
of the
for
year.
her.
But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame persuaded her, after I think it was a couple months, to keep her name in the ballot.
So I'm just going to I'm going to cut all the bullshit.
Yeah.
This is not what this Hall of Fame is. Like, if you're going to, what they should need to do is stop it with the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just stop it. Just make it a Music Hall of Fame.
Well, in a way, this is kind of what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is turning into.
Then change the name.
Because there are
Eminem should be in a Hall of Fame, but not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Johnny Cash is at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and this
should not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and that was before he released his covers albums of all the '90s stuff.
Yeah, I know, but one album doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame. I don't care who you are.
For him, it was his work prior, like when he was younger, that helped influence all the people.
Yeah, no. Take the rock and roll out of it.
Well, or for the Dolly Parton one,
keep them all damn separate.
Well, Dolly is going to release a classic rock album that's been influenced by her being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She says
good for her.
She says that she's got to work for it, so she's going to release this one, and she's bringing some heavy hitters to assist her with this one.
Good.
Let's see if I can find it here. One of the what she's trying to do right now is she wants to team up with Robert Plant and Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin to redo a cover of Stairway to Heaven. She already did a cover once of that song in 2002.
Did she now?
Yes. And she wants to team up with those, with parts of the original group to redo a cover of it.
Well, there's 3 of them left. Do it with all of them.
Let's see, who else is mentioned? She wants to do a cover with Miley Cyrus. It's Sheeran. Stevie Nicks.
Okay, well, Stevie Nicks is, yes.
Yeah. And another one I heard of, but I can't find anything in writing about this one yet, but I heard on Sirius Radio that she's also trying to get Steve Perry from Journey.
Huh. Who turned down the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
That's a whole other thing. That one upsets me.
But apparently she actually wrote a couple songs that she wants to do in this one, and for her induction ceremony, she actually performed one of her rock songs for when you get to play.
And rightfully so. Like, Dolly knows what's up, man. But it's like, it's the fact that it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Dolly doesn't belong in that one. Eminem doesn't belong in that one. Jay-Z and LL Cool J certainly don't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame?
Jay-Z and
Absolutely.
LL Cool J were inducted last year, so.
Yeah, Hall of Fame? Absolutely. But not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, they also have other performers like Carole King, who's in there.
If they're not rock and roll or some variation of what rock and roll actually is, then no.
So what happens if we go with the older term of rock and roll?
Which would be what? The Eagles?
Older.
Steve Miller?
Older.
Elvis.
Like Elvis, Jerry Lewis.
No.
If I could remember some of the other
Okay.
artists.
I gotta correct you. You're gonna get in trouble, dude.
Which ones?
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Okay, Jerry Lee Lewis. Sorry.
Jerry Lewis and Jerry Lee Lewis are two very different people.
Yes. Yes.
Well, one of them was.
One is an actor and one is a performer, and one just passed away recently.
Yeah, that was. I think that was Jerry Lee, because Jerry Lewis has been dead for a while. I think.
Jerry Lee Lewis just passed away. I think it was last month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I love that old boogie woogie style.
Because a lot of the inductees were actually from. It could even be the people who influenced Jerry Lee Lewis and people who influenced Elvis in like way back then. For some of the people who have been inducted, and then there's all the different producers and everything else.
So it really does. For me, it boils down to it's not that she's in it. It's not that others are in it. It's that they're not rock and roll.
Well, some of them, yeah, they're definitely like
they're just
never
not
were.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Do they deserve to be in a Hall of Fame? Absolutely. Absolutely. But not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They really need to just drop the rock and roll off that Hall of Fame and just call it the Hall of Fame.
The Music Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Like it's getting ridiculous now. The others definitely need to be in a Hall of Fame. Eminem is probably the greatest lyricist ever. I'm just not a fan of his music, except for a couple of songs, because there's a couple that I really like because I like the content in the lyrics. Because I don't like her either. But Hall of Fame, yes. Not Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, let's see. For this year, I have the induction list here. Let's see what you think about some of these ones, okay? We got Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo.
Yeah, her husband. Yeah,
yes.
Her husband.
Yeah, they're inducted this year.
Well, it's about damn time.
Duran Duran.
Okay, not a fan, but I get it, yes.
Yeah, they have a lot of stuff. Eminem, he was
the
first one who was able to be inducted the very first year he qualified. Which qualification is it has to be 25 years since the first album's been released.
Which I get if he was rock and roll.
We already got Dolly Parton. The Eurythmics.
Yeah, it's about time.
Lionel Richie.
What?
Yeah, Lionel Richie was inducted this year.
Again, Hall of Fame, yes. Not rock and roll.
Okay, we got Carly Simon.
Okay.
Yeah. Along with Judas Priest.
It's about damn time.
Okay, I don't know this one. I don't know Jimmy Jam or Terry. Oh, okay. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for musical excellence. So they must be writers or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the early influence category, So this is the really, really old performers.
Yeah.
You got Harry Belafonte.
Belafonte, yeah.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Cotton.
Okay, so here's another issue, and I didn't realize this. Why so many in a year?
Well, so many inductees.
Yeah,
Well, for the way they categorize everything.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's too many in a year.
Because not
especially,
everyone can perform either. Like a lot, some of them are dead already, obviously.
especially when it took them. The biggest travesty in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame history is the fact that it took Rush so damn long to get in it.
And they were always the original members.
Yep.
And then there's also when Kiss was inducted, they wouldn't perform because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame only wanted the original members to perform, and they wanted to perform with the current lineup at the time.
Well, that's because whatever the hell is going on with Ace Frehley and Peter Criss is beyond me, but I don't know much about that because I am probably the last person on earth to talk to you about Kiss. Not a fan, not even a little.
Well, they know how to make money.
Absolutely. And people like them.
And this will be aired on HBO on November 19th.
So it's already aired.
Yes. So by the time this broadcast is aired, I'll have watched it.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, I
I
didn't even
haven't
know what the
watched
date
it
was.
yet, but when this podcast goes live, definitely something I've already seen.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious. I've heard for the Dolly inductee, they got a whole bunch of people to basically jam on stage. So I'm kind of curious how that worked out because they did the same thing with Johnny Cash. When Johnny Cash was inducted, he just did a big. Everyone came out on stage, and that was in '95.
Yeah, they need to. So if they, not that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's worried about what I think, because who am I? But like, if they change the name, if they stop calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all these issues go away.
Yeah.
They go away. The fact that they're calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and half the people that get inducted every year are not rock and roll. There's a reason I stopped caring.
I like watching it for the concerts, so see how everyone performs, or people perform in tribute of. Like when Rush was inducted, the Foo Fighters are the ones who inducted them,
and rightfully so.
So they started out in costume, playing a Rush song, and then Rush joined them on stage.
Well, that's because the Foo Fighters know what they're doing.
And then when the Foo Fighters were inducted last year, Sir Paul McCartney is the one who inducted them.
Way to go in. Yeah, it's I have issues with the whole rock and roll moniker.
Well, they definitely take it to as far as they could stretch it, and then some.
But there's enough. If you're gonna like, as long as they're calling it rock and roll, there's people that need to go in there that aren't in there that should be in there, and it's instead they're getting country people and rappers, and it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
But everyone who gets inducted is from a vote.
Yeah, well, the people that vote are a bunch of morons.
Voting is actually open to anybody to vote. I believe they do all the voting in the spring. So you can just go to their website or something like that to vote for whoever they have on the list for that year.
Yeah.
I believe there's probably another way you can actually try to request people to be on the list. Probably just spam them.
You know what? I'm gonna Google something real quick here.
What are you going to check out?
I'm just seeing if somebody's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, I'm on there right now. Who are you looking for?
In rock. Just let me finish my thought.
I know they definitely have a lot of people in there. I think they even have. You can go by classes, categories.
They are
just
not.
like you said. AC/DC was 2003.
Well, they should have been. As much as
ABBA
I'm
was
not a huge
2010.
fan.
Oh, here you go. They even have Louis Armstrong was inducted for early influences in the class of 1990.
So that makes it worse for me.
You wouldn't classify him as an early influence?
No, it's what I'm looking up. I didn't think they were, but they're not. So the fact that Eminem, who deserves Hall of Fame, but not rock and roll, like it's not rock and roll. So the fact that LL Cool J and Eminem and Jay-Z and Dolly Parton, how in the actual fuck is Iron Maiden not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I could also fall under how they don't get radio play anywhere.
Doesn't matter. They can tour the world right now and they sell out every show.
Yes. They could sell shows many times
It
over.
doesn't matter. And you said 25 years or something it has to. So that means they've been eligible since about 2003, 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been eligible for that long. How are all these people that don't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame getting in when Iron Maiden is not?
Well, apparently, there hasn't been enough push for them to be on the list yet. Because I know, even just for Judas Priest to be on there, it took the fans a lot of effort to get them on the list.
Which is bullshit, because Judas Priest should also be in there.
Well, they are now.
Like if you look at, okay, Hall of Fame isn't just putting a bunch of albums out. Okay, if you're going to be Hall of Fame, you have to influence a bunch of people.
Yes.
There is not a guitar player on earth that was born in the last 30 years that's not influenced by Iron Maiden in some way. In some way. Get them in the Hall of Fame. It's an absolute travesty not in there.
Well, Randy Rhoads wasn't inducted until last year also, so.
That one is a tough one because he was inducted by himself, I believe, right?
Yes.
And he should have been. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a more influential guitar player. Wow, influential. Wow, say that right. Than Randy Rhoads, other than like Jimi Hendrix.
Let's see if I can find his.
But that makes it worse. The fact that all these people that are not rock and roll are getting in the Hall of Fame, and people that should absolutely be in there are not in there, is an absolute travesty. Like, why did it take Rush so damn long? Iron Maiden is not in the Rock and Roll. What the act? What? Like, I don't get it.
I can't I can't remember how he was inducted as an influence or. But yeah, I'd have to look up to see how you actually get inducted into this.
This is why I don't put a lot of stock in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Because, really, I don't think the people at the top are knowing what the hell they're doing. I really don't.
Here it is. Randy Rhoads was inducted for musical excellence.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, it's just, this one's anything to do with the rock. Like, I know of a couple of people that are in there, but that's about it. Like, I know Metallica's in there. I know Heart's in there, and both of those should absolutely be.
Mm-hmm.
I know Rush is finally in. It took forever for that to happen, but Iron Maiden should be in there. It's stupid. So I'll tell you what's going to happen now, because I know what I am. This will literally be the last conversation I have about the Hall of Fame until Iron Maiden is inducted.
Well, there isn't too many reasons to actually talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so.
No, I don't even care until Iron Maiden is. Okay, so yes, I know who the hell am I? I got no opinion, blah, blah, blah. Until Iron Maiden is inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because they absolutely deserve to be there, I don't give a shit.
No. All I can say is I think everyone will just need to email or find a way to message the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to say that Iron Maiden should be on the ballot for 2023.
Look, at this point, they shouldn't be on the ballot. They should just be in.
Well, unfortunately, everybody has to go through the ballot.
Yeah, well.
And then get all your fan votes and everything else.
It's sad when I mean, I'm going to give away, like, I'm clearly Canadian on this one, but it's sad that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is run worse than the Hockey Hall of Fame.
I remember going to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and it was small,
Yeah,
little underwhelming.
it's not anymore. It's been rebuilt since you went there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's still just yeah.
A small
That's
little event.
That's a different kind of thing. I don't know that you and I could sit and talk about sports. I could, but I don't know that you and I could.
We could probably honestly say I do not know enough about sports.
You know just enough about sports to just fucking pinch a nerve and get me all wound up.
Wasn't that about all you need to know? It keeps it entertaining.
Listen, I don't need your help getting wound up though, because I get wound up. I don't need your help.
Sometimes a little easy. So
Listen, I try. It's like the harder I try to be calm, no, it doesn't work.
well, I guess that's about that regarding the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the performance looks like, and I'm guessing you're not going to watch it with me then.
Not even a little bit. I'm curious enough to know how the Dolly Parton one goes, but that's just a YouTube thing.
Yeah, I kind of want to see the rest of it. See who the Eurythmics perform. Hopefully they do.
I didn't like the Eurythmics enough, but they do definitely deserve to be in there because they influenced a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people. And they have that song, yeah, Sweet Dreams, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that everybody likes. That's not even the one I like. The one I like is Here Comes the Rain Again.
I like that one too.
Yeah, that's the one I like, not the other ones. But I have listened to the Eurythmics in their entirety, and I didn't like them that much. But that Here Comes the Rain is a really good song.
I got the greatest hits, so.
Of course you do.
Well, it couldn't get the albums because it couldn't get all the songs it wanted.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I wasn't interested enough to buy a bunch of the albums, so I'd just get the one. Put it right
Sometimes
beside
the
the
greatest
cars.
hits is the best thing to do. Yeah, so that covers that topic.
Okay, so if anyone has any comments about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or Dolly Parton being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, feel free to leave us a voicemail at anchor.fm. There will be a link in the description of this podcast that you can go on there and leave us a voicemail. I guess that's about it. Till next time. Thanks for listening.